Three nations, one massive stage. Welcome to the FIFA World Cup. Welcome to the World Cup.
You are watching Brazil, the most decorated national team in football history. 5 World Cup trophies. Legends like Pelé, Ronaldo, Ronaldinho. A nation that breathes football. And right now, their biggest hope and their biggest danger is the same man. Neymar. A 34-year-old who hasn't played a full 90 minutes of competitive football for most of the last 3 years. A man who missed warm-up games. A man arriving at the biggest tournament on earth, injured. And yet Carlo Ancelotti, one of the greatest managers alive, brought him anyway. Today, we are going to tell you the real reason Neymar could absolutely destroy Brazil's World Cup dream in 2026. And trust me, the truth is more disturbing than you think. Let's start with the facts. Because the facts alone are terrifying. In May 2026, Neymar suffered a grade 2 calf muscle tear while playing for Santos. The injury was expected to sideline him for 2 to 3 weeks. 2 to 3 weeks, right before the biggest tournament of his life. But here is what makes this even worse. This is not some shocking new development. Since leaving PSG for Saudi Arabia in 2023, things basically only got worse for Neymar. A couple of months after making that move, he tore his ACL in a match with the Brazil national team and missed an entire year. Not long after coming back from that, he suffered a series of hamstring injuries that again kept him off the field. ACL, hamstring, now calf. One injury after another, after another, after another. The injury sustained on May 17th already ruled Neymar out of Brazil's final 2 pre-tournament friendlies. Brazil remained cautious over his return as they began their World Cup campaign. So Brazil's most important player, the man the whole nation is placing its faith in, arrived at the FIFA 2026 World Cup without a single warm-up game under his belt. No competitive rhythm. No match sharpness. Nothing. And Brazil's first game? Against Morocco on June 13th. One of the most physically disciplined defensive sides in this entire tournament. As things stand, Neymar remains a doubt for that opener. He has not been ruled out completely, but he has not been confirmed either. This is the reality. Brazil could walk into their opening World Cup game without their star player. Or even worse, they could rush him back before he is ready. Now let's talk about the real poison. The thing that has been killing Brazil for over a decade. It has a name. Analysts, journalists, and former players have called it Neymar dependencia. The term gained popularity as far back as 2013. By the time the 2014 World Cup semi-final against Germany arrived, it was everywhere. Only one player truly made things happen for Brazil. Of the 10 goals Brazil scored before that match, Neymar contributed directly to half of them, 4 goals and 1 assist. And then Neymar got injured in that tournament. And Brazil, a nation of 215 million people, collapsed. 7-1 against Germany. On home soil. The most humiliating defeat in their history. Now fast forward to 2026. Has anything changed? 4 years, Brazil's attacking structure revolved heavily around Neymar. While that approach worked at times, it also created overdependence. The current generation, led by Vinícius Júnior and others, has developed a more fluid attacking style. Reintroducing Neymar too centrally could disrupt that balance if not managed carefully. This is the real danger. Brazil has finally started building a team without Neymar. Vinícius Júnior. Rafinha. A new generation ready to carry the flag. And then, Neymar comes back. And all that balance, all that progress, could be destroyed if Ancelotti handles this wrong. Ancelotti's biggest challenge will be integrating Neymar without limiting the freedom of the younger stars. But can he actually do that? At a World Cup? Under the pressure of 215 million Brazilians screaming for their idol? Let's look at the numbers. Because numbers don't lie. Neymar scored 11 goals in 28 appearances across all competitions for Santos last year. This season, he has scored 6 times in 15 matches. 6 goals in 15 matches. At a club that was fighting relegation. Against domestic opposition, not Champions League-level defenders. Not World Cup-level pressing machines. And a former Brazil manager didn't hold back his opinion either. A 1970 World Cup winner and former national team coach openly branded Neymar not an example for anyone, insisting he is no longer the player he once was. He claimed Neymar hasn't looked after himself and no longer influences games the way he used to. These are not random internet critics. This is a World Cup winner, a former Brazil national team coach. And here's something that tells you everything about where Neymar's head is right now. Just days before the World Cup squad announcement, Neymar was furious after being substituted during a Santos match, the exact game where he then picked up his calf injury. He went straight down the tunnel. He was angry. At a club match. Days before the most important selection of his career. Is this the mentality of a man ready to lead Brazil at a World Cup? Here is a truth that Brazil fans do not want to hear. Neymar did not earn his place through dominant form. He got his spot because two younger, better-formed players got injured. Estevao, considered one of the most exciting young attackers in world football, suffered a serious hamstring injury against Manchester United in April. It was initially expected to be minor. It turned out to be devastating. He was left off the squad entirely, and that opened the door for 34-year-old Neymar to walk back in. So Brazil lost a generational talent. And in his place, they brought a 34-year-old with a calf injury and no warm-up games. Meanwhile, a Premier League striker with 15 goals this season was left at home watching on television. The questions are loud. Why was he excluded? The answer many people believe, because this is Neymar's last World Cup. And Brazil could not say no. 4 caps in nearly 4 years. And yet Neymar is on the plane while proven, informed players watch from home. Now here is the part that nobody talks about. The most dangerous part of all. When Carlo Ancelotti read Neymar's name during the squad announcement, the country went wild. Neymar reportedly broke down in tears. The internet exploded. Millions of Brazilians felt hope again. And that is the trap. Because emotion is the enemy of rational team selection. When a nation loves a player so deeply, when they have been waiting and praying for him to come back, it becomes almost impossible to bench him. Even if he isn't fit. Even if it hurts the team. Even if it destroys their World Cup. Brazil's problem in 2026 is not that they depend on Neymar too much. Their problem is they brought a half-fit legend to a World Cup because they couldn't say goodbye. Because the emotional weight of Neymar's last World Cup, his final chance at glory, was too heavy to resist. And Ancelotti confirmed it himself. He said, "We expect Neymar to be back for the first game or eventually the following game. We will not change anyone. All 26 players will play the World Cup." He has committed. There is no exit plan. There is no backup strategy. Neymar is going to play, injured or not. So here is the question you have been waiting for. Will Neymar destroy Brazil at FIFA 2026? Not because he is a bad player. Not because he doesn't care. But because Brazil has built a fantasy around a man who is 34, broken by injuries, underprepared, and carrying the emotional weight of an entire nation on his shoulders. If Neymar comes back fit and fires, Brazil could win everything. He has the talent, the history, the 79 international goals, the genius that made him one of the greatest of his generation. But if he comes back half-fit, disrupts Vinícius Júnior's rhythm, struggles for form, and then breaks down again, Brazil could crash out early. And the questions will be brutal. Why did they pick him? Why did they risk it? Why couldn't they let go? The real reason Neymar might destroy Brazil is not his injury. It is the love, the emotion, the inability of a nation to look their greatest modern hero in the eyes and say, "Not this time." Football is cruel. And Brazil may be about to find out just how cruel. Smash that like button. Subscribe. And tell us in the comments, do you think Neymar will be Brazil's hero or their disaster at FIFA 2026?